Welcome to Mel's Diner, a place where stories and songs build community and connections. My name is Matthew Merson, and each guest at Mel's Diner heads over to the Jukebox, selects really important, sentimental, and valuable songs to them, and then shares those stories of how each song gained that personal and powerful meaning in their life. So let's order some food, a cup of coffee, and grab a seat at the counter and listen to some of those amazing stories and songs. I'm so glad you're here. Well, hello. This is Matthew. And before we get into this episode, I just want to say thank you. This is the very first real Mel's Diner Jukebox podcast. If you've been listening for some time, or if you are online and you can see some previous episodes that are loaded, those were how Mel's Diner Jukebox started, which was just me playing some songs or choosing some songs, creating a curated playlist and uploading that playlist for you. And that was fun for a while. It was about 6 months or so, maybe a little over 6 months that I did that. We got up to 36 volumes. I think I put one out every week. And I wanted to change some things up. I wanted to change Mel's Diner from something that was just something that I did to something that I wanted to do with other people. And really just as kind of the mission here of Mel's Diner is to build a community through connections, and those connections are just lived experiences and appreciation of music and kind of the power that certain songs hold in our lives. So if you're listening to this, thank you so much. This really means a lot. This is, I hope this is going to continue far into the future. But I can only do that with your help because I want to interview people. And so, like I said at the beginning, if you would like to reach out, if you'd like to be on the show, send me an email, melsdinerjukebox@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. I'll reach back out and then we'll figure out a time to talk. I am just so grateful. This episode, because this is the first one, we got a real special guest. I think you're going to hear that. I'm not going to tell you who it is right now. You'll find out in just a few minutes, but this one's real special. So thank you so much for listening. You are welcome to listen to this, or you can listen to this through various podcast apps, Apple Podcast, YouTube, Spotify podcasts, or you may be listening to this or have received this through the Substack app. And the Substack is where I started sending out these playlists. So if you are subscribed to that, you don't have to do anything. You'll still get this playlist, or you'll still get the podcast through the Substack. But if you'd like to, clean up your inbox a little bit and maybe unsubscribe from the Substack and then just download or Spotify or Apple Podcasts, that's great. However you listen to this, I just want you to listen. I just want people to listen. So, but I will say this, in the future, there may be things that are just for Substack. That's the way that I am uploading these podcasts. That's the platform that I'm using. And if you are able to stay on the Substack or want to get a little bit extra content, you can find me there, Mel's Diner Jukebox, through Substack. So anyway, without further ado, here is this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Download, share, whatever you want to do, or don't do any of those things. But I really hope you enjoy this conversation that I had. Thank you so much. Peace. All right. Well, welcome to Mel's Diner. You're going to be the first guest. You're the first one here.
Are you serious?
First one in these doors. And I think it's fitting that you're the first guest here at Mel's Diner because why don't you introduce yourself?
I am Matthew Quentin Merson Sr.
Matthew Quentin Merson Sr. And that makes you my dad. What a great way to start this conversation than maybe where my music history started, in your house.
Absolutely.
Was music a big part of growing up in our house?
I would say definitely yes. We had back in the day, we had the turntable with the big speakers and the radio and the cassette, and all in one unit there. And
I remember listening
for hours, like laying on my back listening to cassette tapes.
Yeah, we always had music playing.
With Don Williams. Was music a big part of you when you were growing up?
Yes, it was. My mother and father both loved music. My dad was into Hank Williams and the real old stuff. My mom was into the Loretta Lynn and the Conway Twitty and the classic country. My dad was more into the hillbilly. My mom was more into classic country.
So just country music.
And also going to church. We loved singing the old hymns.
Yeah. There's some Elvis fans, right?
Oh, my mother loved Elvis.
Did she listen to any other rock and roll or just Elvis?
I'll tell you what, they listened to the local, they listened to country music station. Also I guess they didn't call it pop back then. We had a variety of music, mostly country, but it was a variety.
But I cut you off. I think you said you also, because you were going to church, a lot of gospel music?
A lot of gospel music.
Or hymns or?
My dad loved Doug Oldham.
Doug Oldham.
Yeah, he wore an 8-track tape out of Doug Oldham.
What was that? I've never heard of it.
He had a real deep baritone voice. He mounted a 8-track tape player in his old Chevy pickup truck.
Who, your dad or Doug Oldham?
No, my dad did.
Yeah.
And it was a little stack of 8-track tapes, and that was one of them.
But what did Doug Oldham sing? Like, what was that music?
Well, the song was "It Will Be Worth It All," but Doug Oldham would say "It twill be worth it all" when he sang it.
Huh. But that was gospel, or
that was gospel,
like hymn.
Yeah, old gospel.
Yeah. So country, gospel. So growing up for you, music, big part of your family. Your mom and dad love this country music. You grew up in the country. What part of the country?
Well, I grew up in Maryland. My mother was from. Well, she was in Maryland, but the family came from Eastern Tennessee, Virginia.
So they
migrated to Maryland.
Music.
Yeah, they love country music.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, since you're the first one here, here at Mel's Diner, we have this magic jukebox in the corner. I would love for you to pick some songs that are important to you. But before you do that, I should ask you, what would you like to eat? This is a diner. We can also cook. What is your diner food order that we can prepare before you go to the jukebox?
Well, it depends on time of day. I love breakfast.
Well, it's let's see, it's 3:43 in the afternoon right now.
If you have a good Reuben, I'll take a Reuben. But if you don't have a Reuben, it's I like that open-faced roast beef sandwich.
So a Reuben or an open-faced roast beef sandwich,
or a BLT.
Well, I will go get you that Reuben, Dad. Why don't you go to that jukebox and pick 10 songs, and we'll come back. We'll eat some sandwiches, drink some coffee, and listen to some music. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. Welcome back. What songs did you pick, and why did you pick them? So I want to hear. Well, first of all, how many songs did you pick?
I've got 10 songs.
You have 10 songs, and these are all very important to you.
Very important.
Okay. Well, let's just start with the first one. What do you got? Why is it?
Well, I was looking at the list. There were songs that brought back memories. To me, music is like a time machine, and it just ignites these special memories, good memories, some bad memories, but I like picking the ones that bring back the good memories. Like when I was a kid, very young, I discovered my parents had this tape of Tom T. Hall, and I started listening to this tape. And one song on that tape that a lot of folks know about is I Love. But that wasn't the song that drew me in. It was a song called Turn It On, Turn It On. And it's a story song. And I I kept listening to it over and over again until I learned the entire song. And I learned it so well, my mother would have me sing it in public. But when you listen to the lyrics, it's still frightening. About a guy that was being made fun of, didn't go into war, and the townspeople were making fun of this guy, calling him yellow, and he ends up shooting a lot of the people that made fun of him. So at the end, he's in an electric chair. So, and that's where the turn it on comes from. It's the electric. So it's kind of a little morbid, but I was like 5 years old learning this song.
And your mom is making you sing this in public.
Well, she didn't make me. She called me into the room, or called me into. Remember her making me stand up on the fireplace hearth and sing to a room full of people, and they all applauded.
Family.
Yeah, it was family and friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then she encouraged me to be a country music singer.
Okay. So you like the song because of Well, for memorizing it at such a young age.
I just love stories. Love stories.
Well, you're in the right place. We love them here at Mel's too. What's your second song?
Well, I remember as I was growing up, my mom, she loved Elvis, and she would play How Great Thou Art by Elvis. And I've never heard another rendition of that song by another artist Elvis was the best.
Maybe still the best.
So my mom, she died of cancer back in 1983 of cancer. And so when I hear that song, my mind goes back to my mom.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that music, or a song like that doesn't only have the power to remind you of your mom, but it probably brings back some other memories of her as well.
Oh, definitely.
Well, if you want to get on to your next song.
Well, the next one I picked, now when I was a teenager, I remember standing in the kitchen, washing the dishes one night. My dad had the radio in the corner that was always playing. And the song by Don Williams came on called Country Boy. I'm Just a Country Boy. And I still remember standing there listening to that song. I went out and bought the cassette tape, and Don Williams became like the singer. I collected every tape that came out. And because that was me, although the story wasn't about me, but just the idea of just being a country boy. I wore my jean jacket, white t-shirt, jean jacket. That was my standard, clothing.
So you're washing the dishes in your house, and the radio's playing. A Don Williams song comes on. How old are you?
I was a young teen at the time.
So what? 13, what year? 14. Ballpark?
Yeah, it was back in the 70s.
Early 70s?
I'd say the middle 70s.
Mid 70s. You're a teenager in the 70s.
Yeah.
And this voice of Don Williams comes over singing, I'm Just a Country Boy.
And I'm like an oddball. Rock was the popular thing at that time for people my age, but I was the country boy.
So I found
a song that kind of applied to me.
Did you feel like he was singing about you?
I could see myself just fit in that mold. It's a love song about falling in love with somebody who's marrying someone else. I was only a teenager, so it wasn't about me. It was more the country boy that found value in nature and the stars and things, not in money, but your surroundings.
So as a teen, you felt maybe maybe in the outside of a friend group or just in your social circles, and then you hear this song and it resonated with you, and you felt a connection. You felt,
definitely.
You felt seen. You heard somebody singing your identity.
I heard it. I went to the music store, bought me the tape, listened to all the songs, and I fell in love with every one of them. But that was the song that started it all.
That was the hook. Well, that's I never heard that story. And Don Williams, I know is important to me because of you, Dad. I have one of the first tattoos I got was a Don Williams cowboy on my arm because
I purchased every album he recorded. I collected.
You had at one time, or you still have them?
I still have them.
Every album on cassette, or you have every recording, I guess.
Yeah, I have every recording
of Don Williams.
Yeah, mainly on cassette tape. Some records, mainly cassettes.
Wow. I think maybe we all, if anybody can resonate with that, just hearing. I think there's power when you hear an artist. Maybe even see an artist in a movie or you feel a connection to an artist that's saying something that you've always felt or may have felt about yourself, and maybe you couldn't quite put the same words to it as they could, and it just resonated in your soul. And you felt this, your identity in this invisible art form. That's pretty amazing. It's very powerful, obviously. Yeah. That's awesome. All right. So where are we at? Number 4, 5?
Well, we're to number 4.
Number 4,
which is another Don Williams song. It came later in life, but the song "Good Old Boy," the Good Old Boys by Don Williams is to me the one of the best songs ever written and sung.
Why is it the best?
Just a story of a country boy and growing up, and just there's a lot in that song. Even his faith, the world around him is. The drug culture, and one of his friends in a song, he goes down the wrong path, but in the song, the story is about, you just got a good old boy that just does the right thing, learns to talk like the man on the 6 o'clock news, and just goes down the right path.
So you think it's one of the best for the
So what
for
do
the
you
lyrics,
do with a good old boy like me? In a world like this, what do you do with a good old boy like me? That's really what the song says.
What do you think you resonate more with Don Williams? The I'm Just a Country Boy, or this one, Good Old Boys Like Me?
Well, both. They both go together, because in this world, you learn that the sooner you realize that you're the one that's different and you accept it, it really helps you in life. So you stop trying to fit the mold, and you just be who you are, who God made you to be. And I'm just a simple country boy, and in this world and everything else is going in all directions. I am who I am, so, but what does the world do with me? Rather than, what am I doing with the world is one thing, but what does the world do with someone like me? Sometimes they can't, they can't figure it out, and that's okay. You don't want them to figure it out. You're the guy that when everyone else is making noise, you're the guy that slips out and goes home, but sometimes not even, walking around the room, letting everybody know you're making your exit. Yeah. Just kind of disappear.
So just kind of going against the grain a little bit. You're saying these songs, like, it's okay to be exactly who you are. Like, it's okay. Yeah. Being okay with the awkwardness about you, or the great things about you, or, just being exactly who you are, who God made you to be. And and
the simplicity,
sharing that with this life.
Enjoying the simplicity of life.
And these songs, I love these songs too. I know them very well myself. Okay, so what you got next?
Well, I'll tell you what, the next one, it still has a story here. It's actually my life story in this song, because the next one is, I like Alan Jackson. Now, this came out later. He sang this, but it's the song. It's What a Friend We Have in Jesus. When I made a decision years ago not to follow the pack, but to go out and pursue what I believed what God was calling me to do. It was a very, very lonely period of life in regard to relationships. Friends I hung out with, I was no longer hanging out with them. They would call me up and say, "Hey, you want to go here, do that?" I was like, "Nah, I'm not into that anymore." And went through a period where I realized I got into studying the Bible, and even as a teenager, man, I was just doing things that other people just didn't do my age, and I adopted this song. I wrote it from my Bible, and to this day, my wife, she knows this song is to be sung at my funeral. It's What a Friend We Have in Jesus. That was the song that, like, man, I don't care what everybody else does. This is who I am. And I guess I got one friend in life, and he's going to be there all the way to the end. So that's my, I'm jumping way ahead, but that's the song that, that one day, you can sing it and sing it at my funeral.
I'm not singing. I just play the music. I don't like singing. But who's the version that you're choosing?
Alan Jackson. Yeah, I love his style.
Well, this is actually the second time. This is going to be the second time that this song has been played at this jukebox, actually.
Oh, wow.
So when I was doing this as more of just a playlist of music that I liked, I had one episode that was all gospel music, and this song was on there. But it was the Aretha Franklin version, which was very, very good. But yeah, that's amazing. Thanks for sharing that, Dad. What do you got next?
Well, I got the next one is a song that your mom and we adopted. It became our song because your mom was the only one when she came into my life. We were very young.
All right. What do you got next, Dad?
And
no, I'm just kidding.
She's got
I'm sorry.
Eddie Rabbit and Crystal Gale singing You and I, Just You and I.
Okay. I interrupt. I was trying to make a joke.
I know you was.
Okay.
But Just You and I by Eddie Rabbit and Crystal Gale. Yeah, because again, your mom was a lot like me. She came from a broken home and going through a lot, and our family was going through a lot, from your granddad and, my mom and dad, they had separated. And so when your mom and I got together, we could identify with each other. And so we adopted this song, You and I, Just You and I.
Is that how did you adopt this song because of, that's how you felt? It sounds like that's what you're saying.
Yep. And
it was just the two of you.
Yeah, we'd write little notes to each other and always put J, Y, and I on the card for just you and I.
You would write that
at the end of it. Yeah.
because of this song.
Yeah. J, Y, and I.
Wait. Did you write it because of the song, or did you write it and then there was a song came out?
Well, it was a song and a meaning.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
Which came first? I mean, the inscription or the song?
Oh, the song.
Oh, okay.
It came from the song.
So I'm going to go back to the story of you washing the dishes. It sounds like you felt on the outside of things, and you said you're washing this and your dad and mom were there. So maybe this was a time when your dad and mom were in the same house, I know you said your mom passed away.
Actually at that point, my mom would come and go. She was there some, and then she was disappeared and she would come back. And I don't know how many times that happened. Oh, I think at the time when the Country Boy song came on, that was just my dad.
Yeah. I don't want to dig into too much of that past for you. That might be painful, but all I'm saying is that then when it's just you and I, you were just describing that maybe it was a harder time in your life. It sounded like your parents were separated. I think maybe your mom had passed and then my mom or your wife, my mom, sounded like she was having a hard time. So you literally felt that it was just the two of you.
Yeah, we were going through things together. That song would come on the radio. She would let the phone ring one time, which meant turn the radio on. So back then we couldn't text. You sent, even messages through how many times the phone would ring. If it would ring one time, say, go turn the radio on.
She would call your house on
She'd call the house and let the phone ring one time. I knew to turn the radio on. And that song would be playing.
You knew what station?
Yeah.
To turn it on?
No, yeah. There's only, back then, you didn't have too many stations, but the local country music station.
Wow. Did you have any other phone messages? 2 rings meant like...
Yeah, we had some, like, give me a call when you can. Everybody.
What was that?
Well,
how would you know who to call back?
Well, I just knew the call. Even when she rang at one time, I call if I could.
Huh. Anyway, okay. So let's get back to the song. So these are like, so they were like Morse code, I guess. Or they were like some signals with audio.
Yeah, it's nothing like today where you text somebody. Because back then you had a big house. Everybody was listening to your conversation. So it's like,
I'm going to ask everybody if they had some secret code. That was
that's
calling their different before the pre-internet. Well, I mean, anyway. All right. So Just You and I by Eddie Rabbit. Awesome. All right.
Yeah, that song came out later. I saw in the Jukebox by Colin Ray because just a little bit of story. I don't want to go into a lot of detail, but your mom and I got a phone call one night where your mom was actually, something happened at her house and she was going to leave home. And I'm like, you can't leave home. So I went and picked her up and we went out. Next thing you know, and it caused a lot of havoc and I couldn't take her back home for one reason or another. And we ended up driving out of state and ended up in a place called Nashville, Tennessee. And in Nashville, we met some folks that God brought into our lives just by, some folks would say by chance, but to me it was God was looking out for us. And next thing you know, we ended up getting married and to go back to the state of Maryland. But I said all that because there was a song came out called Love Me by Colin Ray about a couple who left a little note. They were going to meet each other and run away and get married. And the one, I think the guy got there to the meeting place, and there was a note on the tree that said, I've got some things to do before we meet up. And it was signed by Love Me. So again, it was a code. Then we put the name on it. It was Love Me. So when you listen to that song described your mom and I running off together and getting married. And we were very young. We were actually too young. But here we are 41 years later, still together and having a wonderful life.
Did that song come out when you were in Nashville at this time?
No, that came out later. When that song came out, you don't hear too many songs about that because we were judged by a lot of
running
people.
Away.
And and here we were just young.
But to your credit, you're still married to the same.
Yeah,
still married to the same woman. Yeah,
yeah. Got married in My mom died in 1983. We got married in 1984.
Your mom died in 83.
My mom died in 1983.
You were married
in the fall of 1983. We got married in May of 1984.
So what, that makes what, this 40,
41,
And what,
coming up on
2000?
42.
42 years you've been married.
Yep.
Wow.
May
That's-
12th.
Congratulations. You picked the right person to run away with. All right, what you got next?
Well, I tell you what, I saw in there you had C.W. McCall singing Convoy.
Well, I mean, it's a diner.
Now
You
again,
know,
that's
of course, we're gonna have truck driving
Exactly.
songs there.
well, when I was younger, my dream was to drive a Kenworth or a Peterbilt, and I wanted to be a truck driver. So any truck driving song, just like, I just loved them all.
This was your dream
But
job.
Convoy was, that was an awesome song. So that was my goal in life was to drive over the road.
But you are not a truck driver currently.
No, I do have my Class A license, but God had something else in store for me.
Have you ever driven a big 18-wheeler truck?
No, not a cross country. I drove a Mack truck and got my license in an old Mack truck. Pulling a demolition trailer.
Why? So why over the road? That means
because
you're
when I was
driving.
younger,
You're
I
on a
wanted to
local
get
route.
away from. That's back before I got married. Back before, so that was like my dream was to get away from everybody and everything because I wasn't tied to much, and with that attitude of being the country boy and just hey, I can go anywhere I want, and just like to enjoy, just get away and see what the rest of the world looks like, or the rest of the United States looks like.
Just that freedom.
That freedom.
All right. What's next on your list?
Well, there's God's been gracious to me. There's one song that I saw that it's Phillips, Craig, and Dean sang a song when God ran, and the message of that song is what God did for me, because there were times in my life when I was going in the wrong direction, and it's a song about the prodigal son in the Bible that all of a sudden he came to himself and started heading back home to tell his father that he was willing to just be a servant in his father's house. And as he's coming up the driveway, as he comes up the road, the father sees him and just takes off running. And it's a song about God running when God ran, and kissed him on the neck and gave him his best robe. It's just that song just describes me, what God has done for me. Phillips, Craig, and Dean, when God ran.
At one point in your life, you wanted to get away from everybody. But this song is like somebody running to you. Like,
when you read Psalm 23, at the very end of Psalm 23, it says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life. That's God pursuing you. It says it's going to follow you. We get it backwards. Sometimes we think we're chasing it. No, he's chasing us. That's how much he cares about us. I know he chased after me and loved me enough to just, bring me back and put me on the right path. And it's been awesome. And then this next one reminds me of my dad. This is a song that my dad loved bluegrass. He would listen to the same bluegrass CD. He was sick back just a few years ago, and he had a disease called MDS, blood cancer. And he loved bluegrass. He listened to the same CD at least once a day that had a bunch of songs on it. But his favorite song, which was one of my favorite songs, was called Barabbas by Patent Pending. Barabbas. Yeah, and even the moment that my father passed away and all of his kids were around the bed, he's literally, you can see that he sees, I believe he saw the Savior. His feet started running, his eyes got wide open, the joy came on his face. And while he was passing away, the CD player, his Bose machine kicked on. No one touched it. No one was around it. And of all the songs, it was number 16 on the CD. It was my dad loved that song.
Wait.
And I loved, it kicked on.
So, hold on. So your dad, a few years ago, I'm aware, like your dad passed away.
April 1st, 2024.
So my grandfather, so you and your siblings were there and around his bedside.
Yes.
And in the moments of his passing, his body started moving and his speaker started like his radio, his Bose speaker
His
started
Bose
playing
machine kicks on
by itself. So this song kicks on. You said it's track number 16 on a CD.
On his CD, he had a homemade CD that had like probably, it was like 30 songs on the CD.
What is that? So what's this? I mean, what does that mean? Like, what is the song? Like,
Wow, the song is about Barabbas,
is
about
one.
salvation.
Okay.
At the end, the last line is like, "We're all Barabbas."
Okay, and Barabbas
because Barabbas was released and Jesus died in his place, and so it's a powerful song of salvation.
Was that stereo known to do that?
No, it's never done.
It wasn't Bluetooth.
Yeah, we all looked at each other like, who turned that on? And we're like,
well, I mean,
an angel must have done it or something. Yeah, we had no idea.
Spirit, but, that's powerful.
Yeah, all his kids were around his bed.
Well, let me ask you, how does the song make you feel now?
Oh, that's like a time machine. You just go back and, I've always loved the song because of the message, but I will never listen to that song without having a special memory of my father. Through his life and his death.
Right. I guess you have both sides. When you hear that song, it makes you think of both.
Yeah.
Because it reminds you, because it was his favorite as living and this moment at his passing.
Yeah, because we'd all sing it with when you listen to the guy's voice, Patent Pending, other bluegrass singers, they just have a different style of singing. I think it was his mandolin player that actually wrote the song. But when you listen to it, the voice is different. It's a unique sound, which my dad taught us to actually appreciate the uniqueness of the different styles of music, like bluegrass. It's not about their voice. It's about, in the instruments, but it's also the message.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a whole different podcast talking about how intricate bluegrass can be in different styles. But, wow, I mean, the power, that's a really great story. Man, thanks for sharing that. I don't know if anybody else could have. I mean, maybe some other people have had experiences like that. I'm sure it's not uncommon for people to have these experiences who are in the presence of someone dying, but to have a stereo kick on with a song, I mean, that sounds like a really precious moment, like a precious experience.
Oh, definitely. So it was a sign to us.
For sure.
It was like a sign to all of us.
And all your siblings?
Yeah.
Wow. Do they feel the same way about the song, you think? They all have the same memory?
Same memory.
Wow. Okay. So I don't know if we need to go up or down from that story, Dad. Like that's pretty awesome. But you have one more song. So
one more song. This song is a song that I would love to be played at my memorial service, and I chose this years ago. It's about Alison Krauss and the Cox family. They have an awesome album out, but one of the songs on that is "Waiting on the Far Side of Jordan." And it's one of those things that you think about when you pass away or a loved one passes away. What are they really doing on the other side? We can speculate. The Bible only says so much, but here's a picture of someone who's I'll be waiting on the far side of Jordan for you. And it's a picture of going ahead and waiting for family. I'll be waiting for you. And that's what my life is all about. Preparing people for getting to the other side.
Well, I appreciate that you're waiting there for me. I hope it's a long time from now. I mean, for both of us. Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that. And I can think about these. I can see some threads going through all of these, especially, I mean, obviously from your first selection to now, even one hasn't even happened yet, something for the future, something for your memorial service, kind of a timeline of songs. But I can also see this thread of a young boy, young man, feeling on the outside of things, finding a connection with music, with maybe singers. And, even Don Williams being a country singer who, is not as popular as any of the outlaw country stars of the 70s, like Don Williams is a very uncommon name that you might hear people play, but just a sense of connection with maybe people on the outside of things, but finding a connection as a young boy, finding love in those situations, with your wife, finding your God running to you in that situation. I mean, maybe, I don't see you in that. I know you being loved by hundreds and thousands of people, in this world. But I think it's beautiful to find a connection and things like that through this power of music. So thanks for sharing, Dad.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, you're welcome. I don't know if that rings true to you, what I just kind of analyzed there or thought. I mean, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay. Well, I think your Reuben's cold.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks for coming, Dad. I appreciate it. And so we didn't actually listen to these songs in real time. Now we have all these stories. I think we should play these songs. Yeah, listen to them.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Dad.
Thank you so much for visiting Mel's Diner today. We love serving you those very important stories and songs, and we really hope you become a regular. If you or someone you know would love to be on the show, please reach out to me, melsdinerjukebox@gmail.com. And a playlist of all the songs that were selected from the jukebox today can be found in a link in the show notes. And now, as we listen to each song through the lens of those amazing stories, we share in the connection that we just built through the power of great music and incredible people.